The lecture hall aboard the Galactic Peace Academy buzzed with hushed conversation. Hundreds of young cadets from across the cosmos filed into the tiered amphitheater, eyes wide with anticipation. For many of them, it was the first time they'd attend a human studies class. A necessary evil, they called it. Humans were a classified Deathworld species. After all, paradoxical creatures of chaos and creativity, feared and studied but never truly understood. The overhead holo-display flickered to life, dimming the lights and silencing the crowd. Commander Valtor, a stoic Orlani instructor with milky eyes and skin like ash, stepped onto the platform. "Cadets," he said, his voice like grinding gravel. "What you are about to witness is not a dramatization, not a simulation, not a legend. It is real, recorded, unedited, authenticated by the High Council of Species. You will watch it in full. There will be no pause. You may leave if you wish. But know this, resignation from this course disqualifies you from the Peacekeeper Corps." No one moved. Valtor gave a slow nod. "Begin playback." The hollow projector shuddered. The screen displayed a green-tinted image. Helmet cam footage from a Terran soldier. Thunder rumbled in the background. It wasn't weather. It was artillery. The screen trembled with each impact. Flashes of light. Screams. The Terran's voice came over the comms, breathless and sharp. "Echo team, push up. We got hostiles in the east compound." He ducked under a low wall, sprayed suppressing fire, then sprinted through mud so thick it looked like blood. Behind him, other humans followed, faces set in stone, eyes filled with focus that bordered on madness. A Ricari cadet in the second row tilted her head. "Are they smiling?" she whispered. Valtor didn't answer. On screen, the humans broke through a gate with explosive charges. Shrapnel peppered the air. The footage showed a child-sized drone rushing toward them. One soldier screamed, "Suicide bot," and threw himself forward. The feed briefly went black, then resumed with static. Blood covered the camera lens. The humans didn't retreat. They advanced. No orders needed. No hesitation. The Ricari cadet vomited quietly into her lap. Another cadet, a blue-scaled Zenthori, stood up and began trembling uncontrollably. Valtor motioned for medics. They came silently and escorted the cadet out. On the screen, the footage switched to aerial drone feeds. Hundreds of Terran soldiers stormed a fortified position held by the Drekner, a warlike species that had subjugated 3 star systems before encountering humans. The Drekner were twice the size of an average Terran, armored in bone and metal, yet the humans fought like animals backed into a corner. Except they weren't. This was their offensive. It became clear they weren't just winning. They were enjoying it. Footage panned over a human with a severed arm tying his belt around the stump and charging ahead with a flamethrower. Another was seen dragging a wounded comrade with one hand, while firing a sidearm with the other. Teeth gritted in fury. The display cut to night vision. Thermal silhouettes moving through smoke, silent, coordinated, lethal. The infrared contrast made the dead glow cold and blue. The living were bright stars, snuffing each other out in seconds. Screams weren't censored. One insectoid cadet curled into a ball and hissed in distress. Another stood up and tried to leave. Valtor stopped him. "There is no safety from knowledge. Sit or resign." The cadets sat, shaking. The footage transitioned to interrogation logs. Captured human soldiers, bruised and bloodied, refused to give up positions, even while their captors used methods deemed illegal by every interstellar treaty. One, a female soldier, laughed through her broken teeth and quoted Terran poetry. "Do your worst," she said. "Hell's already full." One cadet whispered to another, "What kind of species makes poetry about suffering?" The other replied, "A death world species." The next segment was quieter. Aftermath footage. A human child, no more than 7 Earth years, sat in a ruined home beside a body, presumably her parent. An alien aid worker tried to help her. The child pointed at the sky. "They're still up there," she said, voice flat. "Don't worry. Daddy left them a surprise." Then came the explosion. A delayed trap. Even in death, the humans had prepared retribution. The class was now half empty. Some cadets had run. Others sat stiffly, eyes glazed. Valtor paused the feed. "You may take a breath. 1 minute." Silence reigned. A whisper broke it. "This is madness." Another cadet, a thick-shelled Darnaki, pounded his claw into the seat. "They wage war as if it's sacred." Valtor slowly nodded. "To humans, war is not sacred, nor profane. It is inevitable. They do not wage it because they must. They wage it because they are very, very good at it." The feed resumed. The footage was older now, grainy black and white. Terran World War II. Trenches, gas tanks, aircraft screaming overhead. Nuclear detonations. Cities turned to glass. Then later, Vietnam. Desert Storm. Mars colonization conflicts. The AI rebellions. The footage spanned centuries, yet the human element never changed. Tenacity, rage, brotherhood, fearlessness, or maybe fear perfectly weaponized. Final segment. First Contact War. When the Coalition sent diplomats and military advisors to Earth, they expected resistance. They found unity. The humans unified under one flag in a matter of months. It had taken other species centuries. When a rogue faction bombed a human trade hub, Earth responded with orbital strikes on the attacker's homeworld, precise to the meter, avoiding civilian zones out of some lingering ethical code, but devastating nonetheless. And then came the voice. A human general speaking to the Galactic Council. "We do not seek war," she said, "but if it finds us, we will finish it." No embellishment, no bravado, just fact. The feed ended. Lights returned. Half the seats were empty. Commander Valtor surveyed the remnants. "Raise your hand if you wish to resign." Silence. Then, one by one, hands rose. A third of those remaining. The instructor made no comment. "Those of you who stay," he said slowly, "must understand what we are up against. The human species is not the strongest, not the most advanced, not the most numerous, but they are the most dangerous, not because of what they have, but because of what they are." A silence fell again. One cadet, a young Virelian with soft silver skin, asked in a trembling voice, "Then why ally with them?" Valtor's smile was without humor. "Because they always win, and I'd rather stand beside them than in their way." Another cadet, barely audible, asked, "But what if they turn on us?" Valtor's expression darkened. "Then we die, quickly or slowly, but certainly." He let the words hang. Class dismissed. The remaining cadets filed out silently. No one spoke of what they'd seen, but it stayed in their eyes. A haunted glint, a flicker of understanding. The galaxy had long feared the monsters it could not control. But humans? They weren't monsters. They were worse. They were survivors. Survivors who had learned to love the fire. Survivors who, when cornered, didn't surrender. They adapted, endured, retaliated. And in war, there was no greater terror than a species that refused to die.